Morning. All right, so just recapping off of last week's game against Dallas. Obviously, we came away with the win, which is the kind of ultimate goal, but kind of wanted to hone in on some things that I think the guys went out that we emphasized going into that game, and just changing kind of the trajectory of how we've been performing as a defense the last month. There were like key areas we've been hitting on, not just in the media, but the same thing with the players, as far as getting pressure on the quarterback, red zone performance when teams get down there, limiting points, third down, so on and so forth. And I think just as a collective unit, I told those guys that was rush and coverage marrying each other, because sometimes the coverage wasn't so good, but the rush got home. Sometimes the rush wasn't so good, but the coverage was there, so on and so forth. Still room for improvement, but in the red zone was able to net 33%, 1 for 3, and then the one they did get was unfortunate because it kind of our Achilles heel this year is the fourth down stops. That was a 4th and 5 critical one there to Pickens that they were able to hit and convert. This should have never happened. And again, I challenge the guys. We got guys at the point of attack. We can't go out there and play for you. You got to make those plays in those situations. But just credit to the guys stopping the run in the light box, knowing the passing attack that we were facing. I thought the guys did an outstanding job. They had been doing a good job keeping teams off balance in that regard, and we netted a 3.8 there. And then the turnovers, kind of the equalizer. When you hit December, January football, whenever you're +3 in the game, your chances of winning, I think, somewhere in the 90 percentile. And we were able to go out and do that. But still, things to improve. Still too many explosive plays in the pass game. They didn't have one explosive run, but they walked away with 8 explosive plays by the way we charted, and they all were in the pass game. And 50% of those had nothing to do with anything other than understanding your leverage and the details within the coverage. So that's things that I know Deshay's been working hard with those guys on. Just when you're tired, when you're fatigued, you got to lock in one more time and remember what my leverage is, what are the details that we ask for within those coverages, and go out and execute those things. And then can't allow that amount of points. We definitely want to limit points. You can't give up 30 points and expect to win in the realm, in the kind of version of the season that we're walking into. So that's major things that we're going to emphasize this week as far as the explosive pass game and limiting points as a defense.
Just how important is that this week, Shep, with LA and obviously Matthew playing at MVP level, but I think they lead the league with 50 completions of 20-plus yards. Right. That's kind of what they do. What's the challenge there, and how do you go about trying to limit that unit?
Hall of Fame quarterback, and Matthew's a teammate of mine. Have the utmost respect for him. I really do, man. To be playing at the level that he's playing at his age is pretty remarkable. And I mean, it's not too shabby, the guys that he's throwing the ball to either. He has 2 number 1s over there in Puka and Devontae. We recognize that. And he does a good job giving those guys 50-50 opportunities, in my opinion. Those guys are covered up on a lot of those plays. You see that you're talking about, Tim, that travels further than 20 yards. And he allows his guys opportunity to go up and make a play, and they do that for the most part. And that stands out on tape to us, and we've addressed it, we've talked about it, but now it's all about going out and executing. You can only do so much schematically as a coach, because they also have a pretty good running attack. I don't think they get enough credit. And Sean does a great job with the design of his offense. Brilliant coach, in my opinion. Just the way he keeps you off balance, as far as he makes everything look the same. It's what every coach tries to do now in the modern day. But some people say it and some people do it, and he's one of the coaches that actually do it. As far as making it all look the same, no matter the personnel grouping, some people say it's a simplistic offense, but when you start to incorporate the amount of turbo motion, the volume that they do it at in the run-in pass game, it can become challenging. But we just got to be detailed with our rules this week, understanding when people move, how that affects you coverage-wise and run-fit-wise.
thing that Stafford does well, or one of the things he does well, is limit turnovers. He had a couple, couple weeks ago, but before that, it was like 2 months before he had one. Have you found any common, denominator between the turnovers he's had, and how do you replicate that, if so?
No, I don't try to go chasing and do exactly like you see a good performance against them. We're not going to take that exact game plan and try to implement it. But I think turnovers come down to, for the most part, it's will and want to, and violently and aggressively attacking the football. You look around the league right now, the thing that's uptick, in my opinion, the last 2 years when you talk about turnovers, the interceptions, that's, I got it. The sack fumbles, got it. But it's the punch attempts on the football that you're seeing. And, I want to credit their defense too. I'm still a fan of football, so I do watch some of these games, and we got to combat not only what they do offensively as protecting the ball, but they do a pretty good job defensively as far as generating takeaways. They have a Jack Campbell in their own right over there that punches at the ball a lot. In their middle linebacker. So just understanding we're not just combating their offense, but also the way their defense plays and try to generate takeaways.
One more on. Oh, go ahead, Nolan.
What do you remember about facing Stafford in practice and what it's like to be a coverage defender as a linebacker against him?
Oh, yeah. I faced them all the way dating back LSU versus Georgia, down there between hedges all the way to the league, to being his teammate. And you still see it on tape. I was just watching tape on him, and I saw him make a linebacker drift 3 yards and just put it right there behind his ear and kind of wink. I'm like, but just the thing is, I tell the guys in zone coverage, don't trust his eyes, because he's going to lie to you. Do not trust his eyes. And then you try to train people, well, read the front shoulder tip. And then I had some guys say, well, coach, your shoulder tip was over there and you threw it over there, so what do I read? So just understanding when you're in zone, just understanding your landmarks and details within your landmarks. It is a little different because you do train zone defenders, melt off the quarterback. The front shoulder tip's not going to lie to you. Well, he goes against all that coaching that you do, all that guru stuff we talking all season. You could throw that out the window this week. Just be detailed within what we do and not let them control anything, because I think they get into games and they jump on people and they like to control the situation a lot, which is okay. That's what everybody wants to do. So just understanding who we facing.
Seems extremely difficult to ask guys to dump the muscle memory and the mental memories that they've built up for one opponent. With Adams specifically, obviously just killing it in the red zone right now, and it's slant or fade. It feels like that's the kind of the routes. So what are the points of emphasis for a cornerback kind of squaring that up? Like, how do you stop the fade? How do you stop the slant? Like, where does it start?
It starts with coaching. It starts with coaching, trying to put players in optimal position. That's number one. And then at the end of the day, it comes down to the player remembering the coaching that you've been trained and prepped for and going out and executing that. Fundamental details. You see a lot of guys hopping, reaching. Now, that sounds good, me standing up here saying that. He'll probably have my ass hopping and reaching too. But just understanding where's my help, what has been the coaching detail that week, and not on the first play of the game. It's when you're in the third quarter and you've accumulated 42 reps, 43 reps, and the game's weighing on you a little bit, and that's the critical stop we need. In that moment, you have to be great in your detailed technique, footwork, align and assignment, those things. So that's what I'm honing in on. I see what our guys can do when we're on point. I just trying to kind of hone in on them. It's going to be the third and fourth quarter. This game's going to come down to the third and fourth quarter and who's going to make that play, or who's not going to make that play. I firmly believe that. So if that moment arises, just trusting the technique that Deshay's given them, trusting the plan that I've put in place, and let's go out and make it happen.
We know all the roles that Brian Branch does for your defense. Just how hard is it to replace not just a safety, but somebody who literally does a little bit of everything for you?
Yeah, I just talked to BB the other day. First and foremost, absolutely devastated for the kid. He's one of the best guys and players I've been around, man. And I'm not talking talent-wise. I'm just talking about his mentality, the way he attacks every day. I hate to see that happen. But he'll bounce back even stronger. I told him that, and I told him I truly believe that. I'm not just saying that. So we're going to miss BB, man. Whenever you just take away a player of that caliber, you're going to miss him. But I want to credit the guys that stepped up. Avonte Maddox, a local Detroit kid, played absolutely lights out. Like, you take away the jersey number, you take away all that stuff, and you show me that performance from the safety position, that is winning football, and we can win with that type of performance. Now, it's going to take collective effort. It's all hands on deck, as it's been all year. It's no different. It's just a matter of the guys stepping up to the occasion and seizing the moment. But we don't, I don't see us changing anything that we do schematically, really. Having trusted guys like Avante allows me to do that. So I do want to give him a lot of love and credit here, because I know the first thing people are saying, are you going to have to change up the way you play? Because BB kind of used to guard the slide. BB used to do this, BB used to do that. And now it's the next man up. And I hope that Avante's hearing this interview right now and guys doubting or asking if I got to change my scheme, and him going out and proving why I don't.
What do you like about the addition of Jalen Mills?
Jalen Mills, LSU guy, but ultimate competitor, seriously, ultimate competitor, and he's ready to roll. It's a guy that's been playing football. That's the thing that I like about it. Brad did a good job finding the guys, seeing where we were at, that's played football, because it's easy to bring in a vet, but if he's been on the couch all year, that's kind of hard to kind of get him acclimated. Now it's just about from the neck up with Jalen, and he knows coverages. Everybody play cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, so on and so forth. It's just about terminology now and getting him up to speed with that terminology, and then getting him out on the grass out here and seeing how he moves, how he kind of acclimates into what we do here. But I love the addition.
Kind of a new wrinkle to their offense has been that 13 personnel. They started at week 6, and I think they played about 60% of the time last week,
They did.
which was pretty heavy. Just what do you see from that personnel that's advantageous for them, and do you expect to see it as much this week, given the fact that you guys play a lot of base, you play a bigger personnel, maybe you might not see it as much?
Yeah, that's kind of good you said that, Tim, about us playing base, because you guys see how we view base defense here. I firmly think that's how Sean views 13 personnel from an offensive perspective. He thinks that he can dictate to you, and quite frankly, you can in certain instances if you don't see it a lot. Good thing we called him on the back end. I see that is what he does and who he is, so I could broaden what I do. But a lot of times in this league, 13 personnel, you don't see it. 21 personnel, you don't really see it, so you don't practice it a lot. You don't have a big menu for it, and Sean knows that. So he gets you in it, and he's going to dictate off what you put out there, because they can make that 13. I know it says 13 personnel, but you look at some of those plays, it's playing like 11 personnel. It's playing like 12 personnel. So he can morph that 13 into anything he wants, depending on what you put out there. I think it's a brilliant thing. I give this man a lot of credit, man. I do, because he's kind of, in my mind, what I am as a defensive coach. He wants to have the pen last, and he's going to force you into things, and understand once I force you into those things, it's either here or here, Matt. I'm going to force this defense into this, and it's here or here, Matt. So I credit him. Brilliant coach is doing a damn good job over there.
Hey, how'd you guys do against Stafford in college, by the way?
We beat them once. They beat the brakes off us at LSU in 09 when they had no Sean Marino, AJ Green. We came back between the hedges the next year and beat them in a close game. But they beat the brakes off us in 09, I think that was, or 08.